Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Pyramid's Path Tower reading. As you can see, the Selenite has selected Aries. So without further ado, let's get the shuffling. Make sure the cards are in the realm of all possibilities, aka the open space, the empty space where we can actually see what's going on in the unconscious realm regarding how the universe feels about Aries. So this reading specifically is a generational reading. It's for all Aries signs, specifically regarding the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant signs. Mostly, reading will often work best towards your ascendant sign. So this is your first house, your personality, your space, how people see you before you actually act and react to anything, right? So with our focus being on Aries today, and this being the Pyramid Path reading, let's get into it, So let's cut the deck. Of course, we got to cut the deck onto the sun. Make sure this part's here, this part's there. We'll pick it up. Make sure it's still shuffled. Making sure it's in the realm of possibilities, so we start getting it through. And once I start laying out the cards, I'll actually start explaining how this reading works. Because I actually shape a little pyramid. That's why I call it the Pyramid's Path. No pun intended. And yeah, so we'll get into it in a second. Okay, so as you can see, we have this is going to be about a 15 card reading. So you'll see that the base of the pyramid, this is 5, so if you know anything about numerology, 5 in a dimensional sense is the vibrational realm, the planetary realm, where you can actually experience and have control over the vibration itself, because you are the vibration, and at the end of the day you need to get more people on your energy frequency so you can actually ascend into the next level, which would be the higher vibration. So when we experience this on Earth, this is a conclusion. Okay. When we experience this on Earth, we experience this as feelings. So they're like the dominant feelings in the chapters of our life, and that's sort of how we define the chapters in our life. So if you look at it, this is the past right here. This is the future. Just make sure you can see that real quick. And then right here, these 3 cards are where you could be actually vibrating at, or whatever chapter you're in at this moment in time. But this is your future, and this is your past. Now, you may have actually already experienced these cards in like sort of a cycle sense, because I know it's in the shape of a pyramid, but people kind of get it misconstrued and think it's linear, when in fact it is indeed a cycle. So you could have experienced all these different cards at a different level. So if you've seen them, or like you feel like you've experienced the future before, you probably experienced it, but now you're getting ready to experience it on a higher level. And we'll get into why that is in a second. And then these are sort of the thoughts that are based off of these experiences. You can see these cards are conjoined by 2 cards. So you'll see this thought lead to this thought, but it came from these 2 experiences, which is the conjoined experience that led to this thought, aka a takeaway from that chapter in your life, which is sort of what you use to build your warship, the actual vessel, the actual convictions that help you sail through the thought realm and the actual astral sea of collective experience in a calm mindset, so you don't crash your ship and feel like you're broken down, or like, you just like dissolve and go through an ego death or something. Then after that, we have the skill stack, the 3rd dimensional stuff, which these are the actual skills that these experiences led up to. And then we lead into the night and day pillars of what you actually utilize for your purpose, the conclusion of this pyramid. So without further ado, I'll explain more along the way, but let's get into this. So the past, right? Aries. You started in lost lands, soul memories, gifts. You've done this before, right? But in lost lands, you have so how you look at things is everything, right? You can know things, you can have perspective on things, you can be informed or go through experiences, but how you look at it is everything. You could get $1 million, and that may sound good to you right now, but it could be bad. You could be like, fuck, now I got to pay taxes on it. Everybody's hating the rich, and they, freaking with AOC, she wants a 70% tax plan on anybody that makes above $10 million. So you'd be like, what? Getting rich is pointless. I don't want to get rich anymore. And that's kind of what this Lost Lands is, right? Because you came into this knowing a lot, feeling a lot, having a perspective on a lot, but where you were, it was all pointless. People just looked at you like, why are you getting into all that? Why are you doing all this? So you're probably young, whoever knows what age you experience this, but for instance, if you're 6 years old, like having a deep understanding of other individuals' perspectives, and you know how to create direction in life, people will probably hate on this, because you'll be going around peeing in trash cans, frickin', chasing demons, and people will just look at it like you're being a badass kid. But really, you're like, no, there's this whole war going on that you can't see, So this is for Aries, right? And Yeah, so I feel like I glossed over this, but once again, this is a generational reading, so it's basically for all Aries Sun Moon ascendants from the year from 2012 all the way through 2084. Even if you were born before this, you can still vibe with this, but regardless if you're an Aries Sun Moon or ascendant, you might be vibing with this, but just remember that this even while this was directed towards the Aries sign after the year 2012, it merely just shifts a degree. So most likely you'll probably still vibe with this regardless of when you were born. But people who were born specifically after 2012 and 2084, you may want to pay attention to this because this will be very revealing for the life you may be living. So, or going to live, I should say, because you're already living it. But the next card, right? Your life is a canvas, artist, manifestation, creativity, accountability. So this card right here, Lost Lands, is like you remember the soul ties, the past lives, the vibrations that you came into this world with, and basically the gifts, right? But as that sort of gets like, I don't want to say it gets washed away, but it sort of gets put on a back burner in some sense, you kind of get this, your life is a canvas, artist, manifestation, creative accountability. Naturally what you do, cardinal fire, initiating, creating new ways of how to see and feel about things, right? AKA creating perspective. You guys are starting to really realize this and kind of realize where you are. This is the second chapter in life. Remember, this is in the 3 cards that are actually in the center, which is, you can be in any of these cards right now, so pay attention. So, your life is a canvas. You can basically create any vision, any perspective you want, right? So this is what this card is. This is you coming into the realization, really feeling like you can go in any direction you want. You know, this is that like, oh man, I'm 10 years old, I'm 12 years old. I can still be anything I want, you know? Because life is much like this, you know, sort of bottlenecking. You start out in the realm of all possibilities, you start getting an opinion on it, you start picking a direction, and then you start heading that direction and basically pushing out all other things. Now, the middle card you got is Double Mission, Lightworker, Starseed, Serve the World by Being You. So with this being a double mission, it kind of comes back to where you started, right? Lost Lands, remembering the gifts. Remembering you can pick any direction, but while you picking a direction, this is sort of a combination card where you come to the realization of, oh, okay, this is why I knew all of this at a young age. Oh, okay, this is why I can pick any direction I want, because that's naturally what my signs push me towards. However, I have all this information for a reason, so I need to put 2 and 2 together, and you can see the description of this card right here. It says, Lightworker, Starseed, Serve the World by Being You, double mission, right? So, you have to go about your physical mission getting whatever job you want, whatever, you can create whatever shape and form you want. It's just, right now, you sort of feel like, well, at least when in this chapter in life, you have to do that, but you have to do this at the same time. So it's like the combination of these 2 cards led you to this. I have to maybe go to school to actually be a mechanic. I actually have to go to school to be a plumber. But through this, I have to, you know, provide the esoteric information from whatever starseed I actually came from, you know, whatever planet I actually came from, and actually put that into my work. Show people the way. Show people the direction. Show people the perspective. Show people the actual vibrations I put behind my work today. Okay, the next card you got is the Star Ancestors card. So Hidden Secrets, Lost Wisdom, look a little deeper, right? So going through all of these experiences, actually, because you Aries, you're actually getting into your soul gift and your soul mission pretty early, like basically halfway through this cycle, right? So this is like, okay, I've been doing what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing, but now I'm getting a lot of downloads through what I'm doing. I'm seeing a lot of sacred geometry in my work, I'm seeing a lot of like numerological messages, and I don't necessarily know what they mean. So let me sort of put the time in, put the studying in, and actually take the time to sit a little bit. It doesn't have to be that long. I know I want to learn this right now, but I know that when I learn things right now, I get a little burnt out, so that I have to put a time to schedule where I can work very aggressively. So this is where, you know, you'll start like waking up at between 6 to 8 during the actual first house time of the day, aka where Aries, the Aries constellation was born out of. You'll actually start taking that time to utilize that energy to work on what you need to work on. Remember, Aries, if you actually believe in astrology and you ride those astrological vibes, remember that in Aries, the constellation is actually placed in the first house clock during the 6 to 8 hours of the day, 6 to 8 p.m., right? Or Greenwich Mean Time, or whatever it is for you, wherever the sun comes up, really. But in terms of when it's Taurus season, then that gets moved to, you know, 8 to 10, right? So depending on where the sun is placed, you need to figure out where the best Aries time in the day, so you can figure out this sense of creativity. You can figure out this direction, because that's the time you can actually get your most energy for this, you know, creative time. Because remember, you guys can and will and have and will continue to get burnt out, because, you know, that's just how Aries is, that's how the creative energy is, you know. But you can at least, you know, mediate it, or like mitigate it. That's the word. You can at least mitigate it by knowing the proper time when you'll get the best flow. So just make sure you have just a little bit of a schedule, just a little bit of schedule. I know, you want to do this right now. You don't even want to finish watching this video. You want to do it right now. Trust me, I get it. I know how it is. I'm an Aries moon. So, with this being the case, just pick that 2-hour period to have that just creativity. You know what I'm saying? You'll get it. But let's look at the future. So the future is weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. Okay, so this card's very important because your future is you've gone through this experience of actually being a fucking, a freaking, what's the word? And actually carrying out your soul missions. You figured out even more. But now this card right here, the fucking weight of the world card, oh my god, it speaks for itself. After going through all that and realize you're going to have it on a higher level, you're just going to be sitting back like, fuck. I can't even explain, like, the vibration behind this card, but you know what I mean. So, with this being the case, this is why, knowing that this, I feel, never mind, this is about you. So, this card right here, it shows you, it shows you the freaking, damn. I'm trying to articulate this. Okay. So it shows you where you've been going and what you have to do, and then it basically adds a whole other layer of depth to it. But the weight of the world card right here, that just makes you, you really see it. You really feel the depth of it. You just feel it, But this is why I explained that whole thing about the actual astrological clock in the day. Because at least if you know the time of day, you can get the best information, and you actually break down the clock and sort of figure out what the best time to do other things is. For instance, during the 4th house hours of the day, which is between 12 to 2. That's when you should be home, calm. I know you don't really necessarily like that, and it doesn't necessarily like you, but you really need to take your siesta during the 4th house hours of the day, because at least during that time you'll get your rest for sure. So just learn the ascendant clock so you'll know when to do these things, and you don't have to just blurt out and just be your normal Aries self, where people looked at you like, okay, wrong place, wrong time, man. You'll figure it out. Okay, cool. But let's get into the freaking thoughts. Takeaways. So from this card right here, you got the We Are the Hearthers card. Deep love, mother's milk, birth is a portal, right? Trust me, that statement speaks volume to you, Aries. You are the freaking, you're the first sign in this ecliptic from our perspective. In the other world, it's actually Pisces, but we don't need to get into all that. So this right here, the 2 pillars, right? These 2 things right here, the weight of the world is what you feel in the unconscious realm, and then the, digging a little deeper is what you feel in the conscious realm. That's what these 2 pillars represent. You're riding the vibrations in between. And you're just like, basically you have the answers. The mother's milk. You have the directions, when you hear, feel like deep love, mother's milk, the actual light realm, you have to remember, we live in the Lucifer constellation at the end of the day. So that is love, light, direction. The opposite of the realm of all possibilities. The realm of just possibilities, It's already been sought out. You can already live it. You already get basically a preview on how it'll look like, right? So with this being the takeaway, you already have the preview on what's going to happen. And trust me, we'll get way deeper into this when we figure out this card and we actually look towards this direction. So just remember, you got the answers. It's just going to be heavy once you actually see how it could go. Let's do this one. Alright, so now the first takeaway you get between Lost Lands and your canvas is karmic relationships, right? So this is where you start questioning how you treated people, polarity, soul growth, conflict, It's just like, do people actually, were they telling you wrong place, wrong time, and you being like, okay, I can really go into any direction I want? It's just like, do you want to go without certain people? Do you want to leave certain people behind? Do you want to go with certain people? Who do you want to cut off? Who do you actually want to bring on the trip with you? Because you know where you were, regardless of if they liked you or not, right? You know who you were, you knew what you had from the jump. So, with this being the case, it's kind of like, do I want to heal? Do I want to take certain people with me? What do I want to do? This will make you think deeply about your relationships, which is ironic because at the end of the day, that's your opposition energy, your Earth sign. For if you're an Aries Sun, for instance. So this will put you into your opposition energy. So you're gonna have to start dealing with that Libra stuff once again. Your direct oppositionary from the jump. So at least you get that out of the way early, which is cool. And then the next card you got is Water Your Garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. I mean, this is just a natural takeaway after you go through a lot of bullshit. So Aries sun signs, you being the ram, you're just bashing your head against the wall from the jump. It may be in a good direction, it may be in your sole purpose direction, but at the end of the day, you're gonna, any lackluster Venus sign will think pain is normal to some degree. So this is in Aries, Scorpio, or Virgo, right? Especially Virgo. So you being the ram, you're just going to bash your head through anything and completely neglect how you may feel about it. And this is me personally being an Aries moon. Once again, this was a big revelation for myself, realizing that I sort of do seek pain out. So take that into account, because it may be hard to hear, it may hurt a little bit, but at the end of the day, water your garden, nurture yourself, take a treat yourself day, you know, like go get acupuncture, go get massage, go get like I don't know, go get, I mean, I'm not gonna say go get drunk, but find some form of relief. You know what I'm saying? Go party for a little bit. Don't go too far in it. I know how you Aries just be riding the vibes over and over again, so just make sure you just, you know, you get your little release, but then get back to it, because you got a lot to do.
Alright, hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for following this video up until this point. Hopefully it resonates with you, and hopefully you really got something out of it, and maybe even some deep insight on how your life has been going, the emotional paths, and you actually have a means to categorize it in a way that truly resonates with you. So thanks for following this. If you guys actually want more and you want to see this full reading, you can click on our Patreon link below, but for now just take a spin with me and let's see this bigger reading for the entire ecliptic that we have going on ourselves. So once again, Patreon link is in the description if you actually want to see the full reading, and you can see the full end of the path, all the takeaways, and everything that you actually enjoyed up into it so far and what it actually concludes to.